If you are dead, I'm just the one who turns out the lights.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm here. I made it. Hi. The weird thing about realizing that you're not Klutz who constantly loses everything is it starts standing out a whole lot more the few times you do lose something. And I lost my coffee cup there for a minute. I found it, but not till after I'd already brewed in a mug. So now I have a mug that doesn't have a lid, and then I have an empty coffee cup with a lid, but I don't want to just transfer it over from one vessel to another. It turns out I just set it down on the couch next to where I was putting down the dog food so that Gaston could eat. So that's good. At least it was simple. Anyway, Phoenix Wright. Oh no, are you serious? Sorry. That's me. One sec. I just realized that I have a menu bar on my head. Don't know how that happened. There we go. That ought to fix it. Alright, cool. So, yeah, Trials and Tribulations. We have basically just met our doppelganger, Zin Eop. Is what Maya named him. I prefer Phoenix Wrong. Phoenix Left is also acceptable, I guess. Or Kazuma Kiryu. It's not really fair. He just looks kind of like Kazuma Kiryu. He doesn't act like him. Oh, now give me just a second. Arm is still injured, a little worried about it. I'll ask my doctor about it when I go into the clinic. Speaking of which, we are currently on a drive, I guess. So if anyone wants to help us out, now is a great time to do so, either here at twitch.tv/if_win_y with a subscription, or over at patreon.com/ifwhen. Also with a subscription, but of a different sort. Alright. Pressing buttons, here we go. I do it, that did it. Alright, now we do this one. Boom. Alright, now we're good. Now we got this. And ooh, I wish my arm didn't hurt so goddamn much. Fuck. I'm using basically just the other hand to play Phoenix right here. It's fortunately a game that does not require a lot of manual dexterity. Press the A button. Here goes. We're on part 2 trial. January 7th, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1. Oh, I see. Guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor. Maggie! Oh, I knew it. Ah! Detective Gumshoe! Are you doing all right? How you feeling?
As if you need to ask either question, sir.
Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well, okay?
Roger.
And you! Yes? You better square this case away, got it, pal? Maggie's innocent, you hear? You screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious.
Hey, Detective, you're on our side for once, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir?
Of course. I got the situation under control. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, make sure you point it out, alright? What if she saw Phoenix wrong through the AR lens? Oh no! Oh no, but we saw Phoenix wrong out on the... Oh, like he was making a call, and it was reflecting into... Oh! Would have only seen him from a certain angle. Holy crap. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Sure. Okay, we're forming a united front today, pal. You got me?
I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, Detective. I know I can count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh?
Only wish. January 7th, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. That's 2 days before JJ's birthday. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Bitter. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
Well, what's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "You was talking to me?" It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. The Phonix. I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? So, Mr. Godot, your opening statement, please. Mr. Trite, whether you're a fake or the real deal, we will find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you I'm the real Phoenix Wright. I wasn't questioning whether you are Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. That's what I intend to find out. There is no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. This is where it turns out that he's Larry Butts the whole time. As everyone's aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. Not planning on repeating anything that phony me said, trust me. Now then, Mr. Godot, please summon your first witness. Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation? Witness, state your name for the court. Huh? Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation, Dick Gumshoe. Other way around, Detective. Huh? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah, the guy who was on the initial investigation's tied up with another case now.
I hope Gumshoe's ready to really got everything under control for everyone's sake.
I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. Hey, Bad Road. The victim's name was Glenn Elg. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll of Blue Screens Inc., a local, of course he was, a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence. Died of potassium cyanide poisoning. Time of death was between 1:30 and 2:30 p.m. And here's the floor plan to the restaurant. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress. The waitress being the accused. Yeah. The victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of the coffee. At the time of the incident, there was 2 other people in the restaurant. Mr. John Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo, which isn't giving me anything for it, but I'm on a 69 stream watch shake. Hell yeah, and that's amazing. Thank you. I'm going to start a prediction on how many times the autopsy report will get amended. I say at least twice, maybe thrice. It still seems to be a very straightforward case to me. I don't know how the prediction stuff works, but you're a mod if you have access to it. Très bien, floor plans, blueprints of the crime scene. Come, detective, take up this hammer and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Just a sec, my taquitos just rang. Give me a minute to get them while the judge stares you down. The man looks intimidating till he opens his mouth. Alright, I got my taquitos. There we go. Your chicken and cheese. And tasty shit right here. Cannot express that loudly enough. Probably just a blocking wall explaining the unseen dude. Oh. Yeah. Most likely. I like your idea better, though. But wait, it could actually be both. The blocking wall prevented everyone else from seeing him, but also the reason she could see him was because he was reflecting off the lens. So yeah, I think it's probably both, actually. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. The incident. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. And what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. We still don't know what Phoenix Wrong is all about. You can start a prediction, but mods who vote can't choose the outcome. Oh. Probably have to know how to... Yeah, I'll look into that another time. And what we found was potassium cyanide. Stuff really packs a punch. And it looks like Ms. Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. The facts of this case seem to be ironclad. Mr. Wright, I'd ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around, is that understood? I already told you, that wasn't me! When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. Can I stop you for just a minute? Huh? What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence? He's so desperate for that to be true, he is practically crying. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Ms. Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said, and I... What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey! Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. The two testimonies tie up on that. It's also possible that Phoenix Wrong is, the one that Jean owes the money to. Which would mean both he and Victor would be saying, that, because we know Victor, for whatever reason, is trying to help Jean out by being a regular there, which makes me think, I don't know, relative, close friend, romantic partner? Big age gap, though. Yeah, that's true. The two testimonies tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table. Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I mean, no one's threatened me yet, so I could probably get away with it. Well, maybe the other witnesses just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table was obscured in some way. Ah, that argument is as weak as the coffee at Tribulations, right? I have here in my possession a ticket. A ticket? It's more like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. This is a photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. I think you're right, Bad Road. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments after the poisoning took place, correct? I think the court will agree with such a clear view of the scene of the crime. How, Mr. Tribe, could anyone have overlooked a second person at the table? I mean, he could have been sitting slightly to the left. Like, literally, he just would have had to be slightly to the left. Not even the whole way over. He could have been in the middle of that bench. Assuming he's as big as he looks, like, assuming he has 4-foot shoulders, then maybe he would have had to sit all the way at the end. But either way, it's very clear how someone else could be there. Ugh! It certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clearly. Crime photo added to the court record. Alright, well, that just opened up more evidence. That never hurts. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Just 1 second. Oh, yeah, Godot's glasses may have given him a distorted impression to the average person's field of view. Holy shit. Not even mad, Bad Road. That's great. He was listening to his radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket. Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of earpiece. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I mean, might as well, right? Let's keep it up. And what was in that... And what was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're now one step closer to the middle of nowhere. This isn't going very well, is it? Detective, could you perhaps tell us about the poison and how it was used? You know, something useful. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. So traces of poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else. I'm not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid or was it a powder? If I had to put it in layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been in anything that was on the table. Sugar, salt, pepper. Yeah, he already knows. Do you put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? No, but some people put sugar in their coffee. The victim took his coffee black with no sugar. Damn. It seems that the poison could only have been in the coffee. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little? Yes. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? Huh? What do you mean? Well, according to the file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? Oh, hey, you're right. That's what I would... In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there. They make powdered creamers, that's true, but he takes it black, sadly. Huh? For me? Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece, sir? Yes, that piece. What piece was that again? This! Should I be grateful this coffee is only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh, now I remember. This is the, victim's coffee cup. Why is there lipstick on it? Yes, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh yes, it's unmistakable. There's clearly a coffee stain on that. Is not... Okay, coffee from a single drink would not leave a stain like that. Especially not on the outside where it's not sitting. Right? That... Look, I know my coffee. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in the cup. Did you run DNA on that? The victim gulped down the bitter death that... Something. For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and the defendants. The coffee contained potassium cyanide, covered in the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. Suspension of disbelief. You don't hold the coffee cup and the rim of the cup to your mouth for hours on end? Am I drinking coffee wrong? I mean, I also don't just let the coffee sit in my mouth for like 30, 40 minutes as I do that. It just doesn't seem... You know what? You do you, Bad Road. I have to assume that that's what Godot does also. And what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. Potassium cyanide? I've heard of that chemical before. Exactly how strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe? Well, that stuff's lethal. Eat too much in your history. How much is too much? A lethal dose is 0.2 grams. That's about enough to finish anyone off.
0.2 grams? How much is that?
Oh, you know when you swab your ears for earwax? It's about that much. Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of. Come on, Phoenix. Come on. At least the potassium's good, unless you have retention issues like I do. I have to be very careful around Gatorade.
Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere.
And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of a motive. Some kind of a motive? Yeah, if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion. You know what my golden rule is, Detective? Chuck out a bad cup of coffee, you can always get another. I can tell he's never been poor. Huh? I don't get it. I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts, Detective. Now then, what was Ms. Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. She was... well, they said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. Knew it. That's what we heard yesterday, too. It disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000.
Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one.
And is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder? Obviously. Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my client. Huh. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question.
That's the $500,000 lottery ticket?
Now, one of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search of the defendant. What?
Order! Order!
Ha! She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. Get it? Because her name is Bird. Magpie Bird. I actually think it's supposed to be Margaret, but I think of Magpie. Which is probably the intent.
You'll submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately.
And, I'll just, pass it behind my back real quick. No one will notice if it gets lost. I better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering. A winning ticket for $500,000 found during a body search of Maggie.
This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial, too. But it feels heavier now, somehow. $500,000, you say?
It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. And that's on Maggie's person, unfortunately.
That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she was charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit the crime.
I disagree. I like an old man who knows the score.
There's also the matter of a $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. Okay. I don't mind an old man who's weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, that's because the court has ruled guilty once already. Yeah, all of this stuff should have already been presented before the trial started. Kangaroo court, etc. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance. With one final decisive piece of evidence. Is that a confession? We can only hope. He's got more evidence against Maggie? This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow, that is not the cleanest apron I've seen. That stain looks like... can't be. Blood, can't... I mean, it's coffee. And I don't know what the red is, or why there would be blood on her apron. Ha! It seems the star of our play is a little flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. Coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about the apron. No, there's something else that stands out even more. The pocket? Something else? I presume you mean. Of course, I'm referring to... God damn it! I don't need your help, Godot. The pocket. A search carried out right after this incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide, the very poison used by the killer, was in her apron pocket. Yeah, for a blood stain to be that bright, it would have to have been like within the past few minutes, and even then it would probably be darker. Bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket? Yeah, and Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. What? Order? Order, order. The court will accept these items into evidence. Worn by Maggie at the time of the incident, has a small pocket and big stains. Oops, no, don't autoplay. And deadly powdery poison bears Maggie's fingerprints found in her apron pocket. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the blood stain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. What if he can't see it because his mask is a virtual boy? That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You don't need to be told. Just look at it. Well, detective, could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup? She must have got some on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day. You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. Pull a stunt like that again and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. Oh, I thought everyone knew what it was already. So Godot can't see it. That's interesting, which does actually make me think he's, you know, got rose-colored glasses. So the prosecution's theory,
is that Maggie carries potassium cyanide to work every day. On the off chance a customer has something she'd like to steal. Yep, guess so. I see no flaws in this logic.
I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made on this case. The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence? They've all been clearly established.
Well tried. It seems you really are a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts.
Witness, please continue your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there.
The investigation.
The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him, but we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. When Maggie was searched, we found a lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. That was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene.
What about the other lottery ticket?
You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good.
Yep. It's almost like none of this adds up, huh? Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, trite. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So let the fun begin.
The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir.
You know that Gumshoe is addressing Phoenix as Sir for the first time? Scary old man, Detective Gumshoe? There's an old man who's a regular at the restaurant where the incident happened. Ah, we're obviously talking about the same old man. Officers was dispatched right after the report came in, but the old guy still made a fuss.
What took you so long?
Then he hurled abuse at him. And seeds.
Seeds?
Ah. It was nothing. I caught each one with my teeth. I guess not even the mighty Godot can avoid being attacked by that guy. Oh my god, you're right, Bad Road. He really thinks that that was Phoenix Wright. Oh, dang. So this guy comes into court after killing the man, pretending to be Phoenix Wright, so that he can convince the court that Maggie's the one who killed. Holy crap. This is so many layers, but they're mostly really obvious after the last one. The old man was the only other customer in the place at the time. He took his time finding a payphone, apparently, so he was late reporting the crime. Poor Maggie had passed out from shock. It must have been real tough for her. How long was the defendant unconscious for? The officers got to the crime scene around 2:40. Maggie was still out cold in the kitchen at that time. Took another 10 minutes or so before she came to. I would have liked to have been on the scene myself. I bet you would have liked to have carried out the search, too. Would have loved to see Maggie asleep like that, all pretty and peaceful. Jesus Christ, dude. You're a professional, Detective Gumshoe, not a professional bird watcher. Save the romantics for your own time, Detective. All we need to know about is the investigation. Oops, I guess I'm pretty red right now, aren't I? And Godot can't tell. Godot can't tell that he's red. The victim didn't have any identification on him. He didn't have any? Are you saying that it was stolen then? No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. All I had was 58 cents in his wallet. 58 cents? Eh, I can't believe I found someone with less in their wallet than me, pal. The victim sounds like he was a thoroughly miserable young man. Or some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge? I think I'm onto something here. But we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to the court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, right? Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. Oh, he's so let down. He's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing going. That was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with the lottery ticket. It seems Mr. Glenn Elg visited his doctor before he went to Tribulations. He got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? I leave this alone? Ask more. What? What? Ask about the bag. So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually, the bag was found empty. The bag we found was empty. Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty. The victim got this from the doctor before going to Tribulations. The bag is empty. You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate, are you, Trite? Now, what happened with the investigation after that, Detective? When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. But the defendant had been passed out for a while, correct? In that case, isn't it possible someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? Hey, yeah! You nailed it, pal! It happens to me all the time. We had a department party the other day, and when I got home, I was wearing the boss's shoes. Keep up this crazy testimony, Detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat. Harry! So Trite. Someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket. That's a pretty bold statement. Gotta back it up with some evidence. Well, I'd love to if I had any. It appears you have no evidence to support your theory, Mr. Wright. The second man planted it in her pocket. Continue with your testimony, witness. Well, that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. We just heard that something was, in theory, missing from the crime scene, right? There's nothing in the prescription bag. Why would he have an empty bag?
Objection!
Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There is just one small contradiction to your testimony. Oh, finally! I'm getting all anxious and waiting. Just waiting, so hurry up, will you? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Tribulations. Where, then, did the medicine disappear to? You are too cool, pal! Indeed. Due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Order, order! Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that? That's all. What? Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will. What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New ear otolaryngological. Otolaryngological? Yes, what kind of illness was the victim suffering? Oh, it's his earpiece. It's a hearing aid. Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Godot? Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bitter war wound, you could say. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Elg found himself in a fight. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. He ruptured his eardrum? Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested. Oh, no, it wasn't that. You can't fight here. This is a war wound. It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print. They found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Yes, here it is. In very, very, very fine print. It seems Mr. Elg correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Tribulations. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. Ugh. It seems this medication is irrelevant to the case after all. No. Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. I can't get away from any old weak objection. What should I do? We'll find out what he should do right after these messages. We're gonna go to the break. I'm gonna run some ads. Before I do that, I want y'all to remember that there is a civil rights movement happening around the country and the wider world. Black Americans, people of color, are fighting for things that should never have to be fought for, like equal rights, equal treatment under the law, and to not be attacked, terrorized, and even murdered by the police. We have listed here some ways that you can help, including the Bail Fund Network to help keep protesters out of jail, the Okra Project and the Black Trans Travel Fund to help black trans and non-binary people with food, supplies, and travel out of dangerous situations, and the Black Hills Legal Fund, the Lakota People's Fund to take back their land, the Six Grandfathers, which was stolen by white people, arbitrarily renamed to Mount Rushmore, and then had some white slave owners' faces carved into the side of it. Black Lives Matter, the lives of people of color matter, Indigenous lives and lands matter, Asian and Pacific Islander lives matter. These are things we gotta keep saying and pushing and fighting for till the people all the way to the top not only understand and acknowledge them, but work to make them real protected truths. Alright, gonna go to the break. I'm gonna run some ads. We have no stance on ad blockers. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Boom, we're back. Now we're definitely going to push the medication issue. I should probably save the game first, huh? I may have already done that. Only moments ago, Mr. Godot made the following statement. It seems Mr. Elg correctly applied some of his medication when he was at Tribulations. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? Thank you, Phoenix. But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. That doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth. You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide. Godot's losing his cool. He's watching his cards fall down the wrong way. All over the house of dominoes. It hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. Ugh. That's enough. Mr. Godot, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Now, instantly recovers. Mr. Godot? Yeah. I got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. Oh, he didn't immediately regain his composure. He's really pissed. It's the old man who was there on the restaurant on the day of the murder. Victor Kudo, the pigeon hater? Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial. And that is something that bothers me. Yay, good job, Nick. The court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. I suppose this means I'll just have to finish you off in my last 6 cups. Court is adjourned for recess. He's already gone through 11 cups. January 7, 11:03 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. Oh, that was close. Tell me about it. I nearly died in there. That's my line, sir. No, it's my line. I think I really did die for a little bit. It looks like we all nearly died in there. I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me, but he totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's gotta do his job, right? It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. But it really hurt this time. It felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again. Poor Gumshoe. So the next witness is gonna be the old guy from the park, right? Yeah, Mr. Kudo. Lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds. I bet he's gonna be real stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know? Yeah, he's a big old grouch. You gonna be able to handle him, Nick? Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me. Even those never-ending bird seeds. / beans, I guess. They don't work on Phoenix because he's not an evil spirit. January 7, 11:15 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please. The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Didn't have Gumshoe up on the stand for long. Name and occupation, if you don't mind.
The name's Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times, too.
We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation.
My occupation? Listen, young'un. How much call do you think there is for kimono embroidery here?
Kimono embroidery?
That's what I do, or did back in Japan. I embroidered family crests and kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed. Wow, a real craftsman. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe you'd embroider my costume sometime. Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing over here. So I had to take a job working the cash register at a burger joint, pretending to smile.
That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen.
Now then, witness, were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino. Seeds? What do you think these are, I see.
So you saw everything that happened, Gramps.
Did I? Oh yes I did. I saw it all.
Then please tell the court. We're all ears.
Sure, I'll tell you. I'll tell you every last detail.
He is really getting into this.
A young man was reading a sports paper. The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the serving girl there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Mr. Kudo, she is not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. Or a server. Or, something. You're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with old-fashioned ones, Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell ya. Excuse me. Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
The young man was reading a sports paper.
So you saw the victim then? You saw Mr. Glenn Elg.
I wanted to know if Gutzen Braun retained his championship or not.
Hey, Maggie mentioned that too. How old is this guy if the judge's vocabulary is newfangled? I don't know. He could be, 80, 90, 130. Before they had radio. So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? And at the location in question, there are partitions between tables on the same side of the restaurant, right?
So what if there are?
If you say that you could see the victim, that means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct?
I go to that place to drink Javachino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was sitting at.
He's very defensive. And not just in court, he's been defensive every time we've talked to him. You mean you go there to eye the waitress?
The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it.
Did she now? Mr. Kudo, that is a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw?
Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I.
I see.
My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving.
His eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress. Ho ho ho!
And I saw what the serving girl put into the Javachino as well.
I bet I know what's coming up, and something tells me I'm not gonna like it. Sometimes we gotta do things we don't like. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask the witness to add what he knows about this to his testimony.
I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please? Sure. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Did she really put that into the coffee?
You doubt me, boy? She took some out of a small brown bottle and sprinkled it in.
Couldn't she have been adding sugar?
Sugar? In a small brown bottle like that? Like that?
Witness, can you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms? This is a guy who is saying more than he should be right now. A black Javachino with no sugar or cream, true. Very, very definite. Huh. A bottle like this, perhaps?
Oh, there it is. That's the one. That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume.
So what did the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you?
Ugh. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and collapsed.
He took just one sip.
You young'uns, you waste everything.
It would take... So if there was 0.2 grams of potassium cyanide in the coffee... I don't know. I can't see how big the bottle is. I don't know the mass of potassium cyanide. But something's real fishy about this.
You young'uns, you waste everything. Those Javachinos cost $8. In the good old days, we would have drank every last drop, eaten a cup, and then died.
I like this guy. You know, I didn't like him before, but now I like him. Sorry, that's gonna be my desktop now. Congratulations, you've earned the title of battiest man to grace a courtroom. So it was an immediate death. Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that is possible.
Oh, yes. He slumped over without so much as a twitch.
Oh shit, even we have a twitch. We're on it right now.
I felt the Javachino I just drank turn sour in my stomach.
Ah, yes, I know that feeling.
And the waitress?
I presume I started doing the other old man's voice.
And the waitress? I presume she's... That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
He didn't... You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify? Yes, Phoenix went in the same direction.
Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is.
Sorry?
You can see all the way up to her, you know. She's practically naked in that uniform.
So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit. But anyone could wear such a uniform. Even me! Someone get drawing that. For a friend. For study later. Mr. Wright, please spare the court any further mental anguish from that image. Oh, come on. Nick's cute. Don't get all excited, Nick. You've got to keep yourself together. Yeah, I guess I got a bit carried away. Ah, there's other things I recognize about her, too. He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Obviously. Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these are the features that you recognize about the defendant. I'd ask that you add them to your testimony. Assuming a sip is around an ounce, that'd be a big sip. We would have needed about 1.5 grams of cyanide in the cup. I assume that's... Is that a standard 8-ounce cup or a standard 6-ounce coffee cup? Because that could make a difference in how much a sip is. Sure. In any case, that's... Once you're over 1 gram there, that starts seeming like something someone would notice. Especially after the coffee was spilled. There was a ribbon in her hair, and her apron straps was loose. Apron straps were loose, huh? Almost as though she just put it on? Was it Phoenix Wrong who was the waitress? Was Phoenix Wrong the real waitress? Alright, so all he remembers is clothes. Using a measuring cup, don't know about coffee cup standardization. Alright. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking... So you're going 8-ounce cup. In that case. So yeah, it'd be a lot of potassium cyanide. Like, for real. That's, yeah. I don't know if it's actually totally tasteless or what. I don't know much about poisons. They're not really my thing. But nothing about this whole case smells right. You need 200 milligrams in a sip for this to make sense. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, none of this smells right. And I do appreciate you getting those measurements. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance, but what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face. As if I wouldn't remember that. The witness noticed the straps on the accused's aprons. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right. I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red. I mean, I'd say orange, but different people see color differently. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. Although if you're seeing that ribbon as red, that's, again, part of the uniform. There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow. That's an odd thing to put there, huh? Because the straps would be on the back of the apron. So he wouldn't have seen her face. According to Wikipedia, it kills so rapidly its taste has not been reliably documented, but has been described as acrid and bitter with a burning sensation similar to lye.
Do you want to go too?
So hot coffee would be the perfect
Come on, let's
vector. Oof, dang. Bad hot coffee, I see.
You want to go?
Damn, they actually did their research on this one, huh? The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back.
A what?
Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all? Huh. He's got you there, Gramps. What is wrong with you, Godot? People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Though eyes are often a big one. Usually I hear about, like, big shoulders and titties and things like that, you know? But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. That sounds like a turn of phrase. He's just saying the actual thing.
This is harassment! I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons!
I mean, I am. That's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm just telling you what I saws. That's all what I saws, and I saws what ye all.
Wait, doesn't work there. I saws what I seen, and I sees what I saw. Yeah, that works.
Mr. Kudo, the court requests you to add details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure.
This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer. Yeah, I was about to mention that. This is definitely the most we've ever had added to us during a single cross-examination. I can't find a hole in it soon. It'll get even longer, I bet. We found multiple holes. He just keeps making up more shit.
There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front.
What? You didn't find anything distinct, but you did clearly see the witness's face?
No question about it. I didn't come this far to back down now. Victor Kudo never backs down.
Goonies never say die. That's not the answer I was looking for, but okay.
This has turned into a matter of pride for old Seedy now, I guess. I wonder if he really did see Maggie's face or not.
Like I thought, we need some concrete proof of this. Proof that the old guy didn't see the waitress clearly from the front. The apron with all the stains all over it.
You think old Seedy really saw Maggie do it?
Well, he probably had his eye on the waitress the whole time. That's why he was there.
But he was there for the cute outfits, right? Not the waitress?
I still think he was there because he wants Jean to not, you know. Maybe I forgot some details initially when I said that earlier. I could still see it turning out that he was actually there to help Jean. I feel like I never back down as something a defense attorney would love to hear from a prosecutory witness. I think you're right.
But he was there for the cute outfits, right? Not the waitress.
Yes. She makes a good point, though.
Hey, did I just say something clever?
I wonder if the waitress Mr. Kudo saw really was Maggie.
That's what we have to figure out, Nick.
Look, old man, if you want to wear a cute dress, you can do that. Like, it's okay. I'll even, if anyone harasses you over it, I'll even stand up for you. Jeez, man. Oh, it actually kind of makes sense here that he's into the outfits because he does embroidery on ceremonial clothing. Maybe he could do cosplay. Alright, so now we're going to present with the apron that he would have definitely noticed from the front.
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this.
That filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like, just after he's done eating.
Have you ever seen this before?
Of course I haven't. Do you think I'd forget something as dirty as that? Well, you half-witted clot. What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here.
Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning.
Huh?
And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before... Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front.
Oops.
Oh no. He turns into Kilroy when he's embarrassed. I guess just because he was here, right? You're probably supposed to assume his grandson is an infant, but I prefer to believe he's simply slovenly. You think maybe his grandson is Phoenix wrong? That guy looks like he'd make a mess when he eats. He's so angry.
Witness? You can't just oops your way out of this.
Well, well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands.
5 cups to go.
Listen, Trite, here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant.
That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird.
Exactly. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching.
I hope you understand the gravity of this situation, Mr. Kudo.
Kudo. Sorry, I turned him into the Prime Minister of Canada for a second. Oh, former Prime Minister. Was not a big fan of either Trudeau. Americans sure did love Justin Trudeau, who did some very damaging things. I won't get into that. I think Phoenix Wrong has an accomplice. Maggie No, you got it all wrong. Bats are birds.
The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing.
Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Rams.
You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted.
Mood.
Can't remember. Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out.
Yes, that was the joke, Maya. Thank you.
Very well. Let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim. He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles,
Which was this eyepiece that we saw. Ooh. Sorry, the temperature's fluctuating wildly where I am, and it's really fucking with my sinuses. It's gonna be 94 on Thursday, and then it's gonna be 40 on Saturday. It sucks.
It was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless, I remember that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. The testimony we just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about it.
Some of this guy's lines are just fucking gold.
How are we gonna handle this, Nick?
We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory's shot.
Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel?
I suppose. But it is what I do best!
He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles.
Spectacles.
Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish. That's why I remember him so well.
He did have some kind of lens over his left eye. I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses.
He seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godot's sharp appearance. We better come up with something sharp and quick.
I guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles.
He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling the pages.
The newspaper was a sports paper, wasn't it?
That young hooligan, I nearly asked him, "Can't you even read without fidgeting, How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all that wrestling going on? I needed to find out if Gutzon Braun retained his championship title.
It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why didn't you buy your own? He wouldn't have been able to see the back page from where he was. He might have been able to see the front cover, depending on how it was being held. Huh. That's kind of weird.
What are you looking at me for like that, Ow, ow, ow! Gutzon Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyway. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well.
The wireless.
The decadent young rascal.
Decadent is one of my favorite words.
In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless.
Oh boy.
I'm using an earpiece. It's selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it.
Was he that desperate to listen to the radio?
What are you looking at me like that for, How dare you feel sorry for me? Then the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino.
You mean the waitress who you only saw from behind, right?
You're one of those, are ya? You never let anything go, isn't that right?
Maybe.
What does it matter if I saw it from the front or from behind?
He's very angry. I better not push it until I've got some hard evidence.
The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip.
Oops. I forgot to press L. The whole examination of this cross-examination is to establish just the whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That the old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss. Guess we just need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh? Anything will do, even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours. His free hand?
Yes.
Which hand was that?
Weren't you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was rustling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? If his free hand wasn't his right hand, then which hand do you think it was?
Perhaps the great Mr. Trite has 3 hands.
I was only asking. No need to gang up on me and treat me like a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish... Okay, we already read this. I think I know what I need to do. And it's because I drink so much coffee that I know. Because if I recall... he would have had to pick up the coffee cup with his right hand, which was not his free hand, according... See? They told me that drinking 12 cups of coffee a day would never get me anywhere in life. Well, who's laughing now?
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory?
I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory. I tells you nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song.
Care to tell us where this is going, Trite?
According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that, as you said, his left.
Ha! What is this, kindergarten?
But I'd like the court to please take a look at this.
Well, that's the cup the victim used, correct?
Yes, and on the rim you'll notice a mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there's a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand.
But how?
Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song.
Ah!
Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park.
Wait! If you think I'm gonna stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw.
You still insist on your testimony?
That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh, yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. It's that dead young hotbot and you spiky-haired yahoo, who are at fault.
Who, me? Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already.
Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me.
He looks a lot older than 68.
Listen to what I gotta say.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but...
So, why not hear a little more?
Mr. Godot?
But this is my 16th cup of coffee. So this is your final stand.
Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor.
Left hand or right hand? Oh my god. Is Godot just
using this man as a sacrificial lamb?
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs.
Now that's interesting. So he saw a reflection, right? There's a lot of reflection going around today.
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. Well, we know the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye.
Wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor, often used by programmers.
Often, you say.
A monitor? You mean like a television screen?
The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work.
HDTV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth.
That mention of a CD again. It's true, he doesn't seem to be lying.
And those are the facts in good old black and white. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs.
So the victim was wearing an HMD.
HD, TV, CD, DVD, what does it matter?
There was none of those, actually, but anyway. And you're sure he was wearing the earpiece on the same side?
No question. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans. From the opposite table, he'd only have a view of the side of the victim's head. So that means it couldn't have been the reflection either.
He kept fiddling with it all the time.
It seems you kept an eye on Mr. Glenelg.
He was getting on my nerves, rustling that newspaper and fiddling with his earpiece all the time. And then he went and made all that fuss dying from one sip of Javachino. I wanted to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just looking at him made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked.
So I take it the victim was a walking ball of nervous energy.
He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too.
The earpiece you mentioned. Which hand did the victim touch it with?
You're one of those people, aren't you? You're the type that uses your left hand to get things out of your right pocket.
Damn. Ice cold.
Or fastens your left cup with your right hand.
Well, I mean, you would normally have to fasten your left cup with your right hand.
And when the tour guide says on your right side, you'll see the famous blah blah. You're the only one who deliberately looks left. Well, aren't you?
No, I didn't mean...
Obviously, he used the hand on the same side of his body that the earpiece was in.
Ow! So if he had the HMD on his left side, then it was his left hand, I guess.
And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand.
You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo.
That's because I knows what I saw, is no matter what tricks you try and play on me.
It looks like you really did see the guy picking up the cup with his left hand. This is a dead end.
Well, Nick, what do you think?
I think the guy's telling the truth. Even so,
Something's not quite right. Then chuck evidence at him until he breaks. If he's not lying, there wouldn't be any contradiction in his testimony, right? Not necessarily. You know, contradictions come simply from being wrong or incorrectly remembering something, too. Which ear was he putting the medication in? I'm not... Oh, hey, look at that. Looks like I got it. Left. All right. Excellent. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there's some... Also, welcome back, Willow. There's something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Hey! Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right, it's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear because he couldn't even hear out of it. That true, Captain?
It is.
A pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Order! 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 This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot?
Ugh. A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk.
So y'all know Fawful from Mario and Luigi? I don't know. For some reason, he just came to mind all of a sudden. He does have fury. Is the victim's photo a selfie? Sometimes those are mirrored. I've actually managed to be here, but my phone was on the verge of dying. Oh, well. Glad you've been able to be here.
Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javachino with his left hand.
Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand and then switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee. Which hand the victim used to pick up his cup is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. L drank the poisoned coffee like this. Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. That was a good spit take. I believe it's time to conclude today's proceedings. I'm satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, you can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That's all for now. The court is adjourned. Hold it! Wait! If we stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo? Thanks to that blue-suited upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now. How was your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until now. You definitely haven't. But there's something else the court should know. What? There's more? To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything. But I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark. Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. What is going on?
Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee.
What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man!
That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court just to hear your testimony.
You bet. Much, much quicker.
I can't believe this is happening.
You better get ready, youngster.
I get the picture. Just quit throwing seeds at me, would you? He's got to be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds.
First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of it myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino.
It's the headband. Oh no, you're right.
Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down, hmm?
Is that all?
Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. Huh? You doubting me again? You doubting a poor, defenseless old man?
No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo. Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah. So what, probably? That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine the guy.
You're a bird brain. That's why that's all you can think of. But very well, Mr. Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. First of all, I want to stress.
Actually, now's a good time to take our second break. So let me just hit save right here. I looked over and it says there's 5 minutes, 42 seconds. So, you know, good timing. So, we're going to go to our second break.
If you want to support us, you can of course always subscribe here. You get access to all our super cool emotes. So that's pretty rad. You could also head over to patreon.com/ifwhen. And if you subscribe there, you can get access to art and music and updates and such, and shout outs at the end of the streams. So do consider that. Yeah? Alright. For now, we're going to go to the break. We're going to run some ads, and I'll see you back here in just a few minutes with the exciting conclusion of this old man's testimony. Alright, I'm back. Sorry that took a little longer than usual. I had to fill up the dog's water bowl. Alright, let's get back into this. Now, where were we?
First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of myself.
The court generally prefers if witnesses are sure of themselves, Mr. Kudo.
Noisy brat.
Burped mid-word.
I'm warning you, I'm more savage than a macho man right now.
Okay.
You won't beat me with this testimony. It's the final showdown.
He's chucking those seeds harder than ever. I better be careful. Come on, Nick. Nail him.
The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino.
The court's already heard that testimony, Mr. Kudo.
You know that, I was just setting the mood. How else am I supposed to build up the suspense,
The suspense?
Yes. But now what do you think? Should I work the audience a bit more?
No, please continue, Mr. Kudo. As quickly as possible.
Alright, now where was I? Ah, yes, the young boy slumped over the table and... Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over.
We have an image of the... Let me look at this. That's the blueprints. There we go. I thought we had this. Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered. Weird how that vase doesn't seem to, be knocked over. Huh. Does ogling Maggie at the restaurant make this guy a bird watcher? I'm pretty sure yes, that's exactly what it means. Well, let's press. A vase, you say?
Yes. There are vases on all the tables in that place. There are accidents waiting to happen. They're practically begging to be knocked over.
Well, he's right about there being vases. I do remember seeing them, too. There was a vase on the table where I ate lunch, or when I ate lunch there. And you saw the moment when the victim actually knocked over the vase?
Well, it's hard to say. It's a bit unclear. How do you really define...
Okay, I get it.
I heard it break, and the sight of it's burned into my memory clear as day.
Alright, let's just show him that picture and see if that's enough to finally get out of this hell we've put ourselves in. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene.
So what?
Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact.
Huh?
Lost your tongue, Granddad?
I'm no granddaddy yours, hopscotch. Enough.
If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners are gonna be here all night, I think he said. I would have threatened to hold him in contempt at this point.
What is it now? I just remembered something.
Yes, go on.
The broken vase. It was on my table.
What?
Ah, well, you see. It startled me when the young lad collapsed. So I stood up, and that must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean.
The vase on your table.
Yep, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked.
Okay. Godot thinks this is hilarious.
Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all? Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh, yes, I remember something else. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. Wait, listen to me.
Oh no, he just got erased from timeline, like in Back to the Future.
Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked. And I'm still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. And additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony that we've heard thus far.
The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece, which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear.
Wow, Nick, you did it. Therefore, I require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's one more thing before I call today's session to an end.
One more thing, Your Honor?
The witness we just heard from. He is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So he summarized it accordingly into this statement.
It's a haiku.
Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you wish.
Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that.
Kiddo's really mad, huh?
Yeah, I would be too.
Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Godot's.
Yes, Your Honor. It was odd that they specifically called out 3 copies. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. That's not a high... It's fine. I'm sorry. This isn't a piece of testimony. More like a 5-year-old's apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies?
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Loku. Ah, of course. To be continued. Fuck, we've still got almost an hour to go. I say we keep going. January 7, 12:52 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices.
So, how do you think the trial went this morning?
How do you think it went?
We got a bit crazy in there. Just wonder if that killed our chances.
Yeah, I guess it did get out of hand. Mr. Kudo's testimony did nothing to help us. Plus, now we don't even know the identity of the waitress who laced the coffee.
All we know is what old Mr. Kudo saw. The apron straps and the ribbon.
And that the victim was wearing an earpiece when his eardrum was ruptured.
It sure is a lot to take in. Talk about a terrifying case of contradictions. Contradictionitis.
Time to play doctor and find ourselves a cure then, huh?
Yep, We gotta find one for Maggie or she's gonna have a terminal case of the guilties. You impeached an incriminating witness. That's a good day's work for a defense attorney. Yep. Well, I'm officially at a loss as to where to start. Yeah, me too. Let's try some brainstorming. You go first. I guess we should put Mr. Kudo's testimony to some sort of use. Yeah, that's true. And we need to figure out the identity of the waitress and who the victim really was. Somehow, I think the key to this case has got to be at Tribulations. Well then, let's go back there and check it out again. Do you think Phoenix Wrong is actually Glenn Elg and the other guy is someone else? Oh, and we should drop in on Maggie and see how she's doing too. So, anything on your mind? Actually, there is something. I was wondering about Zin Aop. You know, like, what he's like and stuff. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that guy. I gotta beat you so hard it'll feel like yous was smooching the express train. Phoenix Wright? You saying you Phoenix Wright? 'Cause I'm Phoenix Wright, the one and only. Actually, I've learned a little something about my doppelganger. Huh? You did? What did you find out? Oh yeah, I was working at the restaurant when I ran into Phonione. Phony. Let's just say he was such a terrible version of me that I wanted to sue for defamation. What's that guy's story anyway? What does he have to gain by impersonating me? I mean, I think that he's the one who actually committed a crime. Like, I think he's the killer. Well, January 7, detention center, visitor's room. I guess Maggie's still in questioning. But we've already got questions to ask her, too. Maggie! Maggie! Keep it down, Maya. This isn't a playground, you know. Alright. Oh, we can go to Tribulations from here. Defamation was one of the two torts I suspect him of, yep. So you got this in the bag. January 7th. Right, yeah. Empty as usual. Yeah, and it's lunchtime, too. That's it. Come on, come on, come on! Hey, that sounds like Jean. No, it's Gumshoe. Now just call an 8, pal. Come on, I know you can. He's getting really worked up about something. No, that's the wrong number! Ugh! Looks like an 8 would have only netted me $5 anyway. What a ripoff! What's the problem, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? Oh, you. I was... it's just... He's scratching some scratchers. I was just listening to the radio, pal. Oh, maybe he was betting on some horses? Oh, wait, Lotto. Okay. Powerball. The radio? Hey, Detective Gumshoe's having lunch here. He is. He's having the twin tea set. What can I say? This is a nightmare. How am I supposed to look Maggie in the eye now, pal? You really drove her into a corner, you know. You always blow apart my testimony. Why of all days didn't you do it today? Sorry, there weren't any holes in it for once. Yeah, what happened? Usually your testimonies are like Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese? What do you prefer, crumbly like aged Parmesan?
Anyway, this case has already been ruled on. There shouldn't be any holes left to find.
So did Maggie say anything to you? About me, I mean.
Well, how did she put it again? I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. I hate him, sir. I mean it. I don't ever want to see him again. Something like that. Oh. Please, Detective Gumshoe, I didn't mean...
Why? Why is this happening?
Banging his head against the wall, Nick.
Oh, man. Poor Gumshoe. Like, right now, I don't feel sorry for Gumshoe. Maggie's the one who's really being hurt by this. So, Professor Shoe over here needs to shape up and help. So, did you like the Twin Tea set? I never paid that much money for lunch before. I was so nervous my hands were shaking.
So, how'd it taste?
Well, for $20, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, really. It was, delicate.
Delicate?
You mean you liked it? It didn't taste bad to you?
What's the matter with him?
Looks like he's thinking. That's it! I've been trying to think of the right word to describe the taste! And I just realized, it's bad! That's it! It tasted bad! Ugh. It's kind of hard to admit it to yourself when you paid $20 for it, you know? Maybe you should have found out about the price after you'd finished eating.
Hey, Nick, maybe that's why Glen Elk came here. Maybe he heard about the super fierce Twin Tea set.
If by fierce you mean fearsome, speaking of Glen Elk, that reminds me. We still hardly know anything about the guy.
Why don't we ask Detective Gumshoe what he knows, seeing as he's here?
First, the radio.
So what were you all excited about earlier?
Ah! That's right, you said you were listening to the radio or something. Oh, that was nothing. I wasn't excited.
Come on, Detective Gumshoe. You can tell little old me. What were you listening to?
Nothing, really. It was just the daily exercise show.
God damn it, I fucking fixed this and it's happening again. He also called him a liar and a traitor. Don't forget that part.
I hate this. It is revolting. Oh, shit. Oh, it's gonna be easy to break, though.
What the? A psyche lock?
This lunch special's lobster sure is great.
Then why are there tears in your eyes?
He's not having a good time. Playing the lottery and all. He's mentioned a couple of times that he doesn't have a lot of money. Alright, well, let's ask him about Glen Elg, since that was actually shown that we should do that. So he only has one lock, yep. And he's a bad liar, yep. This guy was a real programming genius. They called him the walking computer at the place where he worked.
What happens when he crashes, though? Does he just stop moving all of a sudden?
Oh, he wasn't literally a computer, Maya. Anyway, there's nothing between Maggie and the victim. Yeah, that's what we found out yesterday, too.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Don't you have any information that's a bit more fun?
Fun? Oh, I know.
You paid a visit to where Mr. L worked yet? You might as well. His workplace? Where's that? A computer firm called Blue Screens Inc. Something like that. Sounds like a real stable company. This should be fun, Nick. Let's go. Computers aren't really my thing, Maya, so I didn't get your joke about Windows 98. We'll be fine. I know all about that high-tech stuff. I wonder about that. It's just around the corner from this joint. You should take a look. A computer firm called Blue Screens Inc., huh? Alright, let's give him the Magatama. The radio. Alright, Detective Gumshoe, tell me the truth. What were you listening to? No, wait, pal. Now that you made a big thing of it, I'm not gonna tell you. We'll see about that, pal. Considering all the noise you were making while you were listening, it's pretty clear what kind of radio program it was. I'd say it's related to... I'm right, aren't I? You were listening to the lottery results, weren't you? Thought you'd try to win big just like Glen Elg did. It's like you can see right through me. Huh? I cracked him already? See, pal, that's why I said it was nothing. I'm usually pretty lucky, so I figured I'd give it a try. What's with everyone in the lottery? So, how'd it go? I won 50 cents. It'd be better to win nothing at all than half a lousy buck. I was so mad! Yeah, I know the feeling. I bought the same kind of ticket as Mr. Elg, see? And they got this special radio show where they announce the winning numbers. You know, like a lottery does. They even do the drawings live on the air. It's intense, pal. I bet that's what Mr. Elg was listening to on the day he was killed. Yeah. What time is it now? It's just after 1:30. And are the lottery results always broadcast at the same time? Yeah. Look, I got this flyer when I bought the ticket. Millionaire radio flyer. Experience the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Millionaire radio. That sounds cool. I want to try it, Nick. Then buy a ticket, Maya, with your own money. Alright. Well, I guess we got a new piece of evidence. Well, I guess let's go see Blue Screens. January 7th, Blue Screens Inc. Why does this look like a room in the Starship Enterprise? Wow, that is also just an unnecessarily large number of servers on those racks there for a room where people are actually sitting and coding. Wow, this place is so high-tech. You can almost smell the electricity in the air. Like, it's gotta be hot as hell in there. It is a computer firm, Maya. They can't work without electricity, you know. Who are you? Oh, hey. Oh, hello. Did Maya just swoon a bit there? I'm sorry, access is restricted to authorized personnel only. This is a computer programming laboratory. There are far too many trade secrets that could be leaked. Wow, what secrets? Everything you see here is classified. No information can leave the building. Understood.
Who is this woman? She's like a robot from some kind of whacked educational show.
My name is Lisa Basil.
Her name is also the same forward as backwards. This is getting weird.
I'm the company director.
Director? She's human? She seems more like a ghost in the shell. Oh, dang. What a topical reference. And that thing over her eye, isn't that the same device as Glen Elg's?
That's a DMH, right?
Nice try, but it's the other way around, Maya. It's an HMD.
All of my programmers here use Blue Screens Inc. are supplied with HMDs. And do you write programs too? No, I just enjoy wearing this. They are pretty cool. I wouldn't mind one.
I like that she's got just LEDs just all through her suit, too. He should have been Greg Erg. I agree. So, what exactly is this firm's business?
I'll try to simplify it so that you can understand. We analyze the data management systems required by certain branches of industry and then deliver optimum operating systems and source-level components to them.
So they're a data analysis scam. Good to know.
You lost me on the corner of analyze and management.
Doesn't matter. They analyze stuff. You got that much, right?
The software we produce is distributed on CDs, which was the style at the time.
CDs?
Yes, compact discs, in case you don't know what those are. Digital optical storage media.
Of course, CDs are used for software as well as music. That does explain the CD on the table, but not where it went. So presumably, whoever killed Glenn would have killed him for that CD and taken it with him.
It's a small firm, but all of my employees are first-class programmers. Let's ask one of them what they're doing. Excuse me, what are you working on right now?
I'm researching the impact of time slicing on logical access to shared global variables. Influences response time and perform variables and memory overheads. Vitally important.
Well, you get the idea. This is the sort of thing we're involved in.
Bullshit, in other words.
We leverage synergies to actualize core competency usage.
That's yes.
Do good people follow all of that? Yeah.
Your blank smile just said otherwise, Maya. You know about what happened, right, Miss Basil?
You mean about Glenn being poisoned? Yes, I know. It's terrible, she says with a big grin. Can you tell us anything that might be helpful? I don't think so. A police officer was here earlier, too. But I couldn't tell him anything either because the waitress who committed the crime has nothing to do with Blue Screens Incorporated.
Oh. How about Mr. Elg's desk? Have you cleared it out already?
No, not yet. It's this one right in front of you. If there's anything that might be useful to you, you're welcome to take it.
Guess there might be a clue here somewhere. Well, I guess let's see if we can find something.
Whoa, look at this desk, Nick. What a mess.
Looks pretty average to me.
But you can't get any work done with everything all over the place like this. You think? Real whiz kids can work under any condition, you know. He's trying to hint that I should tidy my desk more. I'll clean up my desk when Maya stops asking silly questions. No hurry then. Hey, this calendar. What about it? If this is another hint about tidying, you can forget it. Someone's marked December 3rd in red pen. December 3rd? The day Mr. Elg was murdered. Is there anything else? Yeah. It says, meet with the tiger, which of course refers to the man with the tiger on his shirt. The tiger? On December 3rd, the day of the incident, there is a note saying, meet with the tiger. The fuck? That was weird. My controller just did a weird thing. But I'm not sure why. Huh. Very odd. He's really pounding that keyboard, isn't he? Wow, I bet that's where the pro and programmer comes from, huh? I guess I shouldn't be resting on my laurels. Gotta expand my skill set and all that. That's a good idea. Maybe I could become Old Seedy's apprentice. And what about your spirit medium training? Hey, look, Nick, it's a supercomputer. It looks like it's really smart and wise, doesn't it? Computers are only as smart as the humans who use them, Maya. That explains why we don't use computers in our office. You work there too, Maya. Yeah, but at least Please don't argue about something so trivial. Otherwise, the computer will laugh at you. I like her. She said she'd laugh at us, Nick. She's a human, Maya, not a computer. Hey, kid, I'm a computer. Stop all the downloading. Those pillars almost look like they're moving. It's kind of unsettling. Nah, they just look a bit twisted or warped or whatever word I'm looking for. The office was designed for a futuristic feel in mind. Futuristic? Yes, we tried to imagine what things might look like in the future when we designed it. It helps to soothe and calm the soul. On second thought, I agree with you, Nick. This place is really unsettling. Oh, fuck. Oops. Oh, just... I feel like we've been getting less dialogue options and it wants us to present with more profiles and evidence this game than the previous two. About Mr. Eld. He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. But he did suffer from one or two bugs in his personality. Oh, like what? He was a bit of a loser. Perhaps that would be the best way to describe it. That's what got him into trouble. What's the matter? He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. So he was really no trouble at all. A model employee. Hey, wait a minute. Just now you said something about him being in trouble. Oh, we've got to find out what this trouble was exactly. Well, son of a... Is this the officer who came in earlier? Would you mind taking... Okay, so that's not it. That data is super admin restricted desktop access password protected. Super admin restricted desktop access password protected? Even though the sound of it is something quite precocious. This is madness. No, Maya. This is Spart. God damn it! You ever want to see a game date itself? Right there. He won't tell us unless we say the right code word. A code word? Sesame. If it's not Sesame, then it must be your mother's maiden name. That's how it always is. There's no point in having a password if it's always the same thing, Maya. She just doesn't want to talk about this. Maybe we should focus on asking about Glen Elg, but we already did that. Any new... yeah, here we go. About Mr. Elg. Was he in some kind of trouble? I'm sorry, why would you think that? I thought you said something about it just now. You said he got himself into trouble because he was a bit of a loser. Ooh. 3 Psyche locks. I guess Mr. Elg is like every other man with his own pile of secrets. Like he's living out of his desk here. Like post-its and sleeping bag. Can't look at the sleeping bag. Or the post-its. Or the post-its in the drawer, I should say, because apparently we can look at the ones on the ground. What does Tony have to do with this? Well, someone went up to Tony the Tiger and they asked him, "Hey man, do you know Tony Hawk?" Wow, look at this mess. Looks like they're all betting tickets. Ah, there we go. There we go. He got his kneecaps broke. What kind of betting tickets? For betting on which horse will win a given race. They're horse racing tickets. Oh wow, his stores are stuffed full of these. It's like they're all losing tickets though. Horse racing... betting tickets found in Glen Elg's desk. There's over 500 of them. This many tickets would get you what? $1 down at the recycling center? I didn't know you were so hard up that you'd try to profit from the dead, Nick. I'm just taking them as evidence, Maya. Okay, I guess that's everything. I don't know what I would be presenting them. Or what I would be presenting to Lisa. Like, whoops. We can get past one step by showing her the betting tickets, right? But that's as far as I'm getting in my head. Well, let's see where that gets us. Glen's troubles. So, how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. Elg was in? I'm sorry, sir, but we don't deal with troubleshooting here. Perhaps you'd like to speak to someone in customer service. What is she talking about? I guess I'd better just take a shot and see where it gets me. Miss Basil, let me ask you something. Did Mr. Elg's troubles have something to do with this? What's that? Bunch of horse racing tickets. All losing ones. With that many tickets, you could get $1 at the recycling center. You good people are very, very bad. Cashing in on others' misfortunes is immoral. Is that a whiff of hypocrisy I smell? But what is the relevance of these tickets?
The victim, Mr. Glenn Elg,
Had a gambling habit, didn't he? I don't think that's a logical conclusion based on the facts. Everyone likes to go to the races from time to time.
but not everyone buys this many tickets.
Anyway, I don't believe that proves anything on its own.
You're right, but I'm not through yet. Mr. Elg's gambling wasn't restricted to horse races, was it? The lottery, horse racing, he bought a lot of tickets and lost a lot of times. That's got to have hurt his wallet pretty bad, don't you think? Maybe bad enough maybe bad enough to be the cause of some pretty serious trouble, perhaps.
No! You're right. Glenn did have a gambling habit. You good people must not follow his example, do you understand?
Trust me, if I wanted to, I don't have the money to buy any.
But if you win, there's no problem, is there? And Glenn had a winning ticket, didn't he? For $500,000.
Yeah, but
It's hard to imagine how he could have been in trouble then, isn't it?
it's true that Mr. Elk won $500,000 in the end. But that was his first stroke of good luck. He was deep in trouble before that.
Deep trouble? What do you mean?
Mr. Elk's real problem was with someone or something more terrifying and ferocious. We don't have his profile yet, so we gotta back out of this one. Alright, well that's a start. Kitchen, Vitamin Square. Kitchen. January 7th. Très bien. Kitchen.
Huh? Mr. Armstrong's talking to someone.
Hey, it's that woman again. Whose hair matches the profile from the back of the waitress in the picture.
I'll be back next month.
Interesting. She also has a red ribbon at her collar. She has some sort of head wound. Huh. Oui, naturellement. I'll be waiting for you.
If you haven't got it by then, I'm afraid it might get a little hot around here.
Is she a crime boss? No, I will have everything ready, I promise.
I love fire, you know. I love the way it crackles.
No, stop it, I beg you.
Then don't let me down. I'll be watching you.
Man, no, this is not necessary. You can trust me, mademoiselle.
Talk to anyone, and I'll drive a knife right through your heart.
Oh, no, you do not have to worry. You know you worry far too much. Maybe this will help you relax. It is the oil of sandalwood.
I do love raw meat from time to time. Oh! I'll be taking my leave. Goodbye. For now.
Ugh, I have less shivers. I must rub some oil all over my body before I become the nervous wreck. There, oh, oui, that feels good. Ah, oh la la, excusez-moi, monsieur. My eyes, my eyes.
Very clever. Your eyes? If you have trouble with your eyes, you need this. It's la oil of sandalwood. Isn't this just leftovers from what you were just using? So, who was that woman you were just talking to who was threatening to murder you? Oh la la, you saw that? Well, yes, Soléil. So, who was she? She looked so polite and graceful. Polite? Graceful? And she likes raw meat and fires, right? I'll be back next. Are we seriously doing a flashback to like less than a minute ago? Oui, naturellement. I will be waiting for you. You haven't got it by then. I'm afraid it might get a little hot around here. No, I will have everything ready, I promise. Now that I think about it, hey Maya, I think it's pretty clear what kind of conversation they were having. Think so? Well then let's show them that piece of evidence to see what happens. First let's ask him about... Eh bien, you don't exactly have many customers, do you, Mr. Armstrong? No, you're right, monsieur, but perhaps that is the perfect time for you to visit me, no? Sadly, I can give you my undivided attention and cook for you la dish supreme. Putting on a brave face, huh? That's what girls do, Nick. But you're right. Business is very difficult these days. Perhaps the name is a problem. People do not understand it. They think it is a play. I just wanted people to think that my restaurant was exclusive. But they think you just serve But they think you just serve fast food on cheap plastic trays. Nick, that's the kind of thing that can make a girl cry. Have you forgotten that Mr. Armstrong is a man, Maya? Really, we're just gonna hover around this one quote-unquote joke, huh? But this restaurant is my life. It is everything to me. I will defend it to la finale. No one will take it from me. Alright, so we can absolutely present him with that loan contract that we have. So long as that paper exists, I am but a delightful angel with broken wings. An angel, huh? Doesn't bode well when you think about it. Oui, they kept harassing me months after months. In the end, I had to give in. I agreed to help them. Help them? With what? I feel like there should have been a psyche lock thing there. Mais bien sûr. If I did not owe them la money, I would have refused. But my hands were tied. Please, what did you agree to help with them with? No, I cannot say. If I tell you that woman, she will slice me up and eat me with la salad garnish. Ew. I hope he doesn't mean that he'll literally be sliced up and served with garnish. That would be cannibalism. I'm going to guess that woman has something to do with your loan contract, am I right? Ugh. Please, Mr. Armstrong, tell us about that woman. Okay, she doesn't have a profile yet either. Oh, now perhaps we can learn more here. Okay. Kind of an odd way to do it. The woman who was here earlier, I take it she's, why has it come to this? What a tragedy. Suddenly I find myself so deep in the debt. It is a sign of the bad world we live in, eh? No, I'd say it's more of a sign of the bad culinary skills. The woman who was here, this scary woman, she's from the loan office. Loan office? Is that where you borrowed $500,000 from? Oui. Handel Lendel, it is called. Catchy name. Just hearing it makes me want to borrow some money. Please, you must not borrow from them. If you must, no more than $10. $10? Sounds like your whole monthly stipend, Maya. Hey, I get a bit more than that, thank you very much. And you would know because you're the one who pays it. So Tender Lender is... Oh, wait. So Tender Lender is the loan office you borrowed $500,000 from, huh? Wonder if they've got anything to do with this case. I am a weak woman. When I am upset, I have to buy something nice to cheer me up. Thanks to him loaning me the money, I have to pay back $500,000 now. I am like his slave. I have to do everything that he tells me. Who's this he? The tiger. There's our connection. The tiger? Oui, he is la manager of the Tenderlander, a terrifying man, the big city mobster. When he shouts at me, my knees are trembling and his voice is ringing in my ears for 3 days. As soon as I hear the noise of the battered old scooter he rides, I start to cry. A big city mobster who rides a battered old scooter. Does this guy resemble me by any chance? Oh, no. This man has a presence. A most formidable personality. Also, he does have less spiky hair just like you. There is a resemblance there, I suppose. Huh. Sounds like this loan office is worth checking out after all. If you want to visit the Tenderlander, it is just beyond Vitamin Square. Hey, Nick. If you need money, I can loan you some. As long as it's less than $3. Thanks for the offer. Just beyond Vitamin Square, huh? Well, I guess that's where we are headed next week. Because we are about out of time. Thanks everyone for coming. Been a blast as always. No, shit's getting wild again. Still doesn't feel quite as twisty as the previous case, but you know, it could pick up again. It's exciting. Anyway. If you want to support us, you can always subscribe here. Get access to all of our super cool emotes. Also head on over to patreon.com/ifwhen. Get access to art and music. And updates and a shout out at the end of the streams. Thank you to our patrons. Green, Andymonium, Sky, Melly Basket, Angelic, Nahum Wengrov, Kai, and Willow Mist. Thank you. Here's our schedule. Next scheduled stream over at truckcommunity.neocities.org is going to be Bad Road tomorrow with more Blood Rain 2. And then back here with Zoo for Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. And finally, here's our YouTube channel. At youtube.com/@ifwhenvod. That's where all the streams go after the streams are done streaming. All the streams that are stream to stream. And yeah, that's it for tonight. Bafanada and all that. We'll see you later. Good night.